located in the Central Valley of California. The Fresno Fire Department. Established in 1877, the Fresno Fire Department is one of the oldest departments in the United States, rich in history and tradition. Today on the Battalion, we start an all-new 48-hour shift with the crew of Engine 13, led by Captain Oney Durney.
What was that, man? Hi, Chief. I got the drill this morning to the curriculum test, so we're going to go get ready right now. Is that cool? Oh, I already started Gatorade this morning. I think our guys will get some right now. Yes, sir. Okay, boss. I'll do that.
You've been seeing him on calls on Truck 4. He's part of the USAR team as well as the Water Rescue team. Now, we will ride along with him during his final weeks with the Fresno Fire Department after 41 years of service. Crew gets a call. It's a fire alarm in their first due area.
Doors open, that's good here. Yeah.
They arrive on scene to a home that has no visible signs of fire or smoke.
I just talked to your guys, the city guys called me or whatever. We're just sitting there having breakfast and all of a sudden the alarm just goes off.
The owner of the home informs the crew that the home is fine and the alarm is faulty. The crew returns to the rig. They go AOR and return back to the station.
I wish the job could give him back what he gave the job, because his body is broken down.
And he wouldn't claim anything. He would
No.
just, you had to force him. How many hernias did he have that he duct tape?
He'd put a sock on it,
Yeah.
duct tape it, he'd start laughing, and he'd have
Duct
to
tape
hold
himself,
it
and
in.
it's just,
You just walk around today, he said he just had hernia surgery last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, what are you doing walking around? He goes, oh, it feels fine. Yeah.
Back in the day, you didn't complain.
right.
I mean, that's just the way it was back in the day.
Yeah, he's got a story where he got burnt really bad on one of his first fires. I think his legs got burned. And he didn't say anything.
And it's like, Oney, just know that tomorrow's going to be your last day. Because, I mean, that means a lot to, I think, anybody on this job, you know. And work it, get your surgery, and be gone with it. And he's like, nope, going to get it fixed, going to be back in 3 to 4 weeks, which would take any of us 6 to 8.
Yeah.
And he was, and he worked 4 more months or something, or it wasn't even that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like he rushed, and like you said, he went through that firefighter survival class. Different breed. He said.
Hey,
Good one, though.
They don't make them like that anymore.
The crew jump in the rig and head to Woodward Park for some training. Engine 13 joins other engine and truck companies for today's wildland training exercise. Firefighter and instructor, Captain Brian Price, explains to the crews today's agenda.
We'll keep you guys in contact with what's going on. It's going to be hot, so drink lots of water. The water is not here right now. It's en route. It'll be here in about 10 minutes when we start the drill. The way we're breaking things down, here's our time frames we're looking at. The IRPG Station 1 is going to be an IRPG weather and map station. It'll be the mobile attack station, which will be right over here. With you'll end up using Engine 13 and one of the patrols. Yes, and one of the patrols.
The crews are now being broken down to 4 different groups.
So this is what you're going to see on a fire. It's going to have the legend over here that has everything kind of laid out for you. This was a small enough incident where you can kind of see everything on the map. Everything's relatively close. So I'm going to find 58, take it down to 76. Okay. So now once you've matched up the two, if you go down to the bottom right, see how on the bottom it says percent relative humidity, and there's a small arrow right here? That will point down at your RH. So I'm getting 32. Is that what everybody's getting?
Firefighter Wybeck is the trainer for this next evolution. He explains to the captain what they will be doing with the backpack hose bundles.
Normal evolution that you do on a progressive hose lay on the side of the road. So I'll brief Oney on kind of what we want, and we'll go from there, and he'll give you guys your assignments. So here's what we got. Here's what we're trying to accomplish. We got a little backing fire coming this way. We want to start a progressive hose lay up here, and then we're going to kind of go to the left. We're just going to do one pack, so we'll have 200 feet on the ground. But we want you to go off your cross lay like you normally would and do our normal standard FFD progressive hose lay. So we want to see them swapping out that nozzle to go to the other wildland pack. And we'd also, what we're trying to teach too is doing like the alley pull. So you make sure that you create your anchor point, because a lot of guys are taking their hose lay or throwing it up. Yeah, and just keep going, and then you have, you still have fire here, which you can't see, but we really want to get it, either pull it out that way like you normally would, or do that little alley pull where it all drops here. And you can give a good solid anchor point and just kind of walk through the stuff.
Coming up here.
Yeah, a little backing fire. We want to start a progressive hose lay up here, and then we'll kind of guide you to the
Now,
left up there.
it's time to practice what they've been taught.
We're going to pull a 200-foot line, put the correct forestry hose nozzle on it. We're going to go up this way. This fire is coming up this hill. We're going to do a progressive hose lay up the hill using the forestry hose. I'll take a path. You pump for us, and we'll take it up the hill there, Cameron.
They place the hose packs on their backs. These are going to be used as extension lines. Captain Durney is a veteran firefighter close to retirement who has very little need to be so engaged with learning all of this information, but probably wants to be here as much as everyone else.
Go ahead, James.
As they run with the line, they run short and attach an extension line.
Then if you put your T at your next 100 foot, you'll be able to cover this area.
We'll go over how to tie this down with a strap afterwards with one of the rubbers. All right, we're ready for water. Water.
This one is clamp.
Got the clamp guy? Okay, the nozzle guy is not the clamp guy.
No, you got me.
Take that off.
The water?
Female side.
It is what it is.
Ready? Ready for water?
Ready for water.
Stay on the grab. Otto, get over here. Go on the grab.
My short-term career here, got to work with Oney a bunch of times, being on the rescue team. He's probably the model of our fire department. Greatest fire captain, fire engineer, firefighter. He's a fighter, I like him. Ask this guy's about Oney.
Snapshot picture of Oney would be to the day he retired. He'd come out of a working fire, hat sideways, bottle halfway slung off, covered in whatever you were inside working on, and say he just stood around and did nothing, because that was Oney. Even if he pulled the whole ceiling and put the fire out himself. Oh, I didn't do anything, it was my guys. That's a snapshot picture of Oney.
They demonstrate sheltering themselves from an approaching fire.
I'm going to radio that we have deployed. We're holding our position. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Shane, Tim, Otto?
Need a cigarette.
James?
Yep. Dropped your web gear, hose pack. You just have your radio and water and full PPE. That's it. All right. Good job. That was good. Oney was the last one in the shelter. That's kind of what we want to see, so you make sure everybody's
The
in
reason
the
I was so
shelter.
slow was I kept my web gear on.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of hang up deal.
This is like the best learning experience I've
Oh yeah. I talked to High Rise Drill years ago.
Firefighter Specialist Engineer Evan Sutliff goes over the working of the pump in the rear of the brush rig.
Pump, it's not a PTO. Your sight gauges are here and here on the back. It's very appropriate, right? You're out here fighting fire. There's nobody back here to tell you when you're going to run a well. It's got a low pressure shutoff feature. You have to have this in the start position and this in the run position in order for it to start. What this does is saves your pump. When it runs out of water, you don't burn it up. You don't cavitate it. So you have this in the start position, this in the run position. You hit start, throttle up to about 100 pounds or so you know you have nozzle. Check your nozzle pattern, and then you can throttle up to your firefighting pressure. If you have it down here, 50 pounds or so at idle, and somebody goes and opens the bail, the pump will just die. So same thing, if you're out there on the nozzle and you're out there and you've been out there 5-10 minutes, kind of keep in mind that you're limited on these to 300 gallons of water. So you don't want to just be out there in the thick of it and then have your pump die off. So it's nice to have that extra person helping the nozzleman. Every once in a while you can take a look back. Look back at your wet line, make sure it's holding, and then you can also take a look at your water and make sure things are running smooth so you don't just get out there and run out of water while you're in 4 to 5 foot flame lengths.
Now, they practice what they've been taught. Using their red line, they practice bordering off fire in order to keep it from spreading past a certain point. Captain Durney is the first firefighter with their hose line. Now, it's his turn to drive the rig. Firefighter instructor Tom Ziggy Ziegler demonstrates the safest way to use the winch and cable mounted on the front of the rig.
First off, we want to talk about safety considerations. You want your helmet, gloves, and either a long sleeve or your no-mix jacket. The reason for that is there are spurs on the rope. You don't want to cut your hand or anything like that, and prevent you from getting cut or hurt. Also take in consideration where you are, what kind of area you're in. We're in dirt right now, so we'll probably say we're stuck in some mud. So things that we want to do first is we want to dump the tank water far away and try to make the vehicle as light as possible when winching. The vehicle's weight for the patrol is about 6,000 to 7,000 pounds. The brush rig's 10,000. The winch is rated for 12,000. Technically, this winch isn't capable of pulling anything. It should be 1.5 times the vehicle weight. So just need to keep that in mind. So that's why we have the 1.5 times. The reason why it's important to have everyone away, but inside of the besides the operators in the rig, is you guys are also on safety look. Just like a regular wildland fire, you have to look out, take a look at what's going on. If you see something that doesn't look right, or hey, you know what, you're coming up to a big boulder, hey, stop, let's move that out. So it's something to keep in mind. Also what's nice with the rigs, on the brush rigs, is we have a wireless remote on all of them. We still have the hardwire rope remote that will plug in right on top. And if that's the case, then the operator of the vehicle that is plugged in will be sitting in the cabin. It's long enough to fit in there so they can control it.
This concludes the training at the park today. Later in the afternoon, the crews will perform evolutions near the San Joaquin River.
All right, my first experience with Oney Durney, I was a firefighter, brand new probationary firefighter here at Engine 9. We had a 2-story kind of like apartment fire. We were upstairs mucking out the attic and picking up insulation. So my captain at the time, Chief Airness, he was a captain at the time, had AWR, so Oney Durney comes in. So I don't think I'd ever met him. I've just heard like his name and all the exciting, just talk about him. So he shows up and he walks up. He didn't have his gear on. He had his boots on, his structure boots, gear, and then a wife beater shirt on, no helmet, and he's in there mucking out with me. Everybody else is standing around, I'm working, and Oney gets right in there and just starts mucking out, and I'm just looking at like he was almost like this fire god that just comes in and just does whatever he wants. And as a probationary firefighter, we had to do everything a certain way, and you had to have your gear on and your helmet and your gloves. And then here comes Oney Durney, and just like everything else doesn't matter. It's just whatever he does, goes. Whatever he says goes. So it was an experience. So after that, it's just I always kind of admired his style and way he fought fire. So he was a good, very good fire captain.
Back at the station, a call comes in. It's an EMS call.
Were you doing the tile? Were you doing tile? Tile or
They arrive on scene to find a man down on the ground. He seems to be immobile.
You were backing out?
Yes.
I was actually keeping space with somebody that I paid attention to.
This side of my leg right below the knee. This side is there. On the other side, yeah. I'm going to end up cutting these ribs from out here to take that in.
Sensations?
I can move them now. Like for a second there, they felt kind of numb.
Did it catch your leg like this against the ground? Or did it just kind of hit it?
The bumper hit the side of my leg right below the knee.
Okay, but did your foot get caught and it hit your knee? Or did it kind of get something?
The man says that he was hit by the rear bumper of this vehicle. The man driving the vehicle is on scene and explains his side of the story.
What would you like to do? You want to go get checked out of the hospital?
I probably could. I got coverage at Pfizer.
The ambulance crew arrives on scene and assesses the patient. Captain Durney questions the driver. The patient decides he wants to go to the hospital to check out the severity of his injuries.
What do we have here? We have a gentleman who happened to be walking behind a car, was backing out. Guy didn't see him, was backing out, and got hit in the leg. So, it's pretty typical in this parking lot.
The crew of Engine 13 becomes available on the radio. Late afternoon, the crews arrive at the field near the San Joaquin riverbed for evolution training from all that they've learned this afternoon, and it's well over 100 degrees.
Count 4 on Division Zulu. This is Zulu Operations, copy.
Operations Command.
Set traffic for operations.
As soon as we can, let's get number counts and buried inventories for firefighters. So make sure they are right now they're disoriented and we need to help them out.
Copy. We're gonna bring them out. Division Alpha operations. Can you repeat the firefighters' assignments, please?
We have Captain Brubaker. Operation Command.
River Bottom Command.
Go for River Bottom Command.
Operations. Yeah, we have the 2 down firefighters. We're bringing them out. We'll give you the names. It's Captain Brubaker and Sloan.
Today's training is complete. The crew's got some rehab time, they've got hydrated, and they are packing hose before they head back to their station.
Yeah, so we can do day and night.